On page 432 of chapter 13-2, we take it to the next step. And it talks about a solution with a non-electrolyte solute. Non-electrolyte meaning it won't conduct electricity, but it also means that it will not form ions in solution. So if you have a 1 molar solution of sugar, that means when you dissolve the sugar in there, it did not make more pieces. Because you'll remember that when we talk about colligative properties, those are properties that depend on the number of particles. Whereas if we were to put, sugar will not make any new particles, whereas if we were to put in an electrolyte, which is talked about on page 438 of your book, an electrolyte will form multiple ions. That means that if we have a 1 molar solution of this, it actually has more pieces. In this case, 1 plus 2 is 3 molar solution, and therefore it will be 3 times the impact. Well, let's talk about the impact first. It turns out that in water, now we'll talk about other substances in a moment, but in water, if we have a 1 molal solution, it will lower the freezing point by 1.86 degrees. So normally it freezes at 0. You have a 1 molal solution of sugar, and now it will not freeze until minus 1.86 degrees C. Now it's kind of easy because normally it freezes at 0. To subtract 1.86 is easy. It's just negative 1.86. This will be a little bit different when we get to boiling. So what if we had a 2 molal non-electrolyte? So we have 2 moles of sugar. No other ions are formed, so it will have double the impact, or 2 times negative 1.86, or a total of minus 3.72 degrees Celsius is going to be the new freezing point. This constant is in degrees Celsius per molal, so a conversion factor here for doing our calculations. This value, called the molal freezing point constant, is the freezing point depression. That means how much lower it's going to go if you had a 1 molal solution of a non-volatile, non-electrolyte solution. So how we're going to use this is if we have something like, say, a 2 molal concentration, we just have 2 times this, the molals cancel, and we're left with how many degrees lower it's going to be. Similarly, boiling point elevation, this case for water, is the boiling point elevation solvent of a 1 molal solution of a non-volatile, non-electrolyte solution. And that amount has been found to be 0.51 degrees Celsius for every molal of concentration. So if we have a 1 molal solution, it goes up 0.51 degrees. So what's the new boiling point? And this is where we have to remember our starting point is 100 degrees. So a new boiling point would be not 100, but 100.51 degrees. If we had a 2 molal solution, we would simply go 2 times that number, or 1.01, add that to 100, and now we have a new boiling point of 101.02 degrees Celsius. And that will be our new boiling point.